Next we have inverting a matrix. Now inverting a matrix is actually a little bit more complicated mathematically, but we can think about it as a means to an end. If we take a matrix and multiply it by its inverse, we get what's called the identity matrix. The identity matrix is kind of like multiplying by 1. It's ones down the diagonal, zeros every place else. So because of this, the inverse of a matrix ends up being a very useful way to solve simultaneous equation. Another thing to note is inverse matrices only work on square matrix. In other words, they only define for a square matrix. What I mean by square, equal rows, equal columns. And there are actually much more restrictions which get a little bit complicated in terms of which square matrices can be inverted and which ones cannot. It's a little bit like trying to divide by 0. There are just some that mathematically it will not work with. You'll cover this a little bit more when you get into your linear algebra class. For right now, we're just going to learn how to do inversion in Excel. So let's say I have this matrix here, and I want to invert it. Well, the inverse is going to look like the one here on the right. There's not really any simple discernible pattern from an inverse as compared with the original matrix. Like I say, the math is somewhat involved. Smaller ones are relatively easy to do by hand. As they get larger, it gets much more complicated. The way we will do that, though, in Excel is we'll use a command called minverse. M once again stands for matrix inverse. Simply give it the matrix to be inversed. Make sure you've pre-selected the area. Shift Control Enter.